All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the new phase. So we got a new day, we got a new week, we got a new quarter, we got a new 6 month candle coming up tomorrow. And so it's good to look at actionable signals or setups on all of those time frames. So again, if you do have any suggestions in the chat, could you at least give us an idea of what you see on it, or at least what time frame you see something? So I see. I have to just sidebar for once. What is this name? Slut Rooster. What is the ration? What is the story behind that name? I've been trying to keep that to myself. I keep seeing that in the. In the what is a slut rooster? I'm just trying to figure out what that is. If we could just take some time out, because my brain is just. I'm an erotic author. It's just an alias. Okay. Okay. That's what's up. I just kept saying that in the Discord, and I'm like, what is the meaning behind that name? Oh my goodness. All right. Okay, so now that we got that out the way, so Slut Rooster says that Disney has a kicking as a K-Pal. What time frame do you see those things on Disney? Let's look at Disney. So on my chart here, I have 4 different time frames. The time frames in question. So we got a new week, we got a new month, we got a new 3 month, which is the quarter, and a new 6 month, which is the one right here. So Walt Disney must have something going on the day and the week. So let's go to the day. It was on the weekly. Okay. Okay, so to be honest, I don't use the kicking pattern too often, but I'm sure there's supposed to be some sort of gap going on where the price gaps lower or higher than the previous candle. If I'm not mistaken, somebody correct me if I'm wrong. I don't necessarily see a gap in the opening and closing. So on Walt Disney closed right here on this week. It closed here, and then on the next week it opened here and closed here. So the kicking, if anything, it opened here on the day. It closed here, and then it gapped down on the day to open up here and proceed to dump heavily all on Friday. So this could potentially be maybe a kicking bull with that gap from here to here, and then a continuation to the downside. If we're just looking at the statistics that create a kicking bull, a kicking pattern. So this will be a kicking bear. I'm sorry, potentially, because it opened close here and open there, gapping down, and then continue to go down throughout the whole day. Disney was a good play on Friday. And so what we're looking at is how Disney played out on the week here. So what we have on the week on Disney, what I see is this red line here is you can look at it as resistance. So this is resistance in the form of an order block along this way right here. And so we have that order block there that could act as resistance, and we see that on the week. So it could potentially reject lower from here. It is in a downtrend right now. Disney, I'm not sure if they have any good news as far as this that could boost the stock up. I know they just reported earnings, and the earnings weren't, I guess, to expectation because it started falling after that. I know they're charging more for tickets for the amusement park, but the streaming service and whatnot is still kind of not making money for them. So you want to keep that in mind. Disney may be on a downtrend until they have some good news coming. So on the month here, you also can see that downtrend on Disney. And it looks like it's already taken a significant from these this kind of tweezer top up there on the month, where it rejected from the 125ish, 124ish level and couldn't hold above that. It's underneath the EMA, so this is the 50 EMA, that yellow line, so it's taking a dive underneath that here on the monthly. So we're looking for this potentially even to come down and maybe mess with this support here in the form of this order block that I'm seeing on this month. This fair value gap that you see there on the month, it could potentially use any one of those as support, and even this one right here. So it's currently trying to break through this other fair value gap and drive back down through the support. On the 6 month, you have that shooter there, which is a sign of sellers coming in. It's a bad sign for upwards price action. And then here on the 3 month, I'm not sure if this is an inside candle. Let's zoom in. It looks like it is. It's really close. So yeah, this is an inside candle on the 3 month. Could potentially take a play off of this. If this does continue down, there it is. So that's the inside candle. Looking forward to potentially break below there on the month, and that would trigger your 212 down on the month. 3 month, I'm sorry, 212 down, 2 up, inside candle, 2 down on the month, triggering below 98.38 on Disney. And then you could potentially play that, if you're looking at the month, you could potentially play that to 95 and then maybe to 88. Does that look good on Disney? Is anybody looking to play Disney? This could be a nice continuation to the downside on Disney. That's not right. All right. So we have another contender. I'm skipping past everything that doesn't have, some sort of rationale behind it. So we gotta do a little bit of work. So Wells Fargo has FTC to the upside. Looks like if it breaks above 59.50, looks good to go to 62. All right. So let's take a look at, what does Jasmine call this? Fargy. Okay. Osei. Oh, I said Osei. Like Otay. Who says that? From the Little Rascals. I like this hammer here on the week. So that looks like a hammer 3. The buyers came in and created this hammer back to the upside. So we're looking for a potential two continuation from off of that 3, breaking that high right there on the week. And then over here on the month, we see this failed 2 down. So I call this a failed 2 down because it went 2 down, breaking the low of the previous candle, but it failed to close below the low, creating a failed 2 down. So basically the buyers came back in and pushed this back all the way up. So we're looking for the buyers to stay in the game, hopefully, and potentially take this into a 2 to the upside. 2 down, 2 up reversal. Breaking that monthly trigger there. On the month, we got the week, and we have the month right there. And then we want to be careful of some potential resistance right there in the sign of this order block on the weekly. Let's see how it acts if it does get into this zone here from 60 to 61. Said that they could potentially break this. That's where that 62 comes into play. If it does break through this resistance here, that would be good to get to 62. Looking to the left, to the left, to the left. So we do have swing high there at 66. But Wells Fargo does look good. And from my charting that I did, a couple of the financials actually did have interesting charts. They have this failed 2 down. A lot of them have this failed 2 down on the month, which looks pretty interesting. Hopefully this could potentially go back up. But I do like this Wells Fargo. Keep this on watch to see if it can trigger those back to the upside with this with the buyers coming in, creating this hammer and this failed 2 down hammer on the month. I like those. Does anybody want to come off a mic and share something? Don't be scared to make money. So AVG Go on the daily has a setup. AVG Go is going to be pretty expensive up until like Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. And we're kind of looking for things that we can play for the majority of like the month, maybe the next 3 months to the next 6 months. But AVG Go is a quick money getter because it's so expensive. So the ATR is going to be ridiculous. So you said on the day there's a shooter. On the week we have 2 consecutive weeks where it has been getting clapped. On the month we have this thick body shooter here on the month. I wouldn't necessarily say that the AI is fizzling up, but we do see that it's starting to sell off a little bit, a little big. And so we have that green shooter there on the daily on AV Go. Somebody got me saying the incorrect name for this. Now I can't even say it correctly. But AV Go definitely has that shooter action there. And for real, this looks like I would call this kind of like a little cup formation. It's a upside down cup, which is bearish. So the cup with a handle regular is bullish, but an upside down cup with a handle is bearish. So it looks a little bit something like this. And then the handle, and then it could potentially break to the downside, breaking below this low right here. Oh my goodness. Breaking below that low. That could potentially be a inverted cup with a handle to the downside on AVG Go. Again, AVG Go is going to be quite expensive. Towards the end of the week is when their contracts get a little bit more cheaper. When the theta is actually ramped up and kicked in and kicked the contract's price down. But you just want to be mindful of that if you're playing AVG Go. Buy time if you can, or make sure you have that momentum on your side, because that theta will get you as soon as it goes the wrong way. You know what? Let me write some of this stuff down. Okay, yeah, Disney did have the Pixar. They made $1 billion off of that, so that's pretty good. So let's put AVG Go. Go, Johnny, go, go. Go, Johnny, go, go, go. AVG Go. Oh, I didn't notice that people had their hands up. I'm sorry. Shit. What's good, Winston?
What's the deal, Mark? How you feeling?
I'm feeling okay. How you feeling?
It's all good. Getting up on these charts. Now you asked if anybody wanted to ask about a ticker, and I was looking at oil.
Okay.
XLE in particular.
You said which one?
XLE.
Okay. So I've been looking at XLE too. It looks like it needs some time to me.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's why I put in my notes. It looks like it needs a little bit of time, but so if we can go back through it and go through the week, shit. So what I saw was that it has this demand, this demand zone right here, which is basically support, and it hasn't reached it yet. So I was thinking that it might continue to drop just a little bit more until it reaches this golden zone right here, this green zone, and then tries to bounce. So that's why I was saying it might need a little bit more time, just to be mindful of that support if it wants to come all the way down there. But on the month we do have this failed 2 down. So if it
And
does,
that's at a bullish fair value gap. So
mm,
that's what got me curious.
yeah. So that fair value gap right here could potentially act as support also, and it might not even get to that demand zone. So that's why I did have the trigger for the monthly. If it does break that month of 92.92, then it could potentially, go back to the upside, and you can at least take that to the 3-month trigger, up there at 98.97. But I just was cautious on this one because of that demand. But like you said, that could this bullish fair value gap right here could potentially act as support because it's bouncing perfectly off of it. Like this wick is the bottom of the fair value gap, almost close to the bottom of it, and it's using it as support as of right now, as of last month. So like I said, if it can break back above 92.92, we could potentially see what's this, 95.21, and then potentially 98.97. But we want to make sure that it clears that month first. But yeah, I like XLE. And really, that's why I started looking for my setups, as I was looking for the sectors to see if the sectors would tell me which players within the sectors to look at. So that's kind of where I started my setups, looking for setups. I didn't really find anything too sexy, but it's always good to start somewhere.
After that, it broke down the rest of it. Oxy, MRO, those look good. They look similar. So it's like, okay, give you something else to watch. And shoot, Oxy really looked like a bull flag waiting to happen to me.
Yeah, this actually kind of looks like a bull flag here. This leg right here from up there to there. If it could
That's
potentially back.
the daily time frame. Yeah.
This is the weekly right here.
I see.
And then on the day you can see it's just a little bit more data. But it could potentially, I was looking for it to break above that month trigger and then potentially break like above this line. So that blue line, because it's a downtrend. If it breaks back above the downtrend, potentially even above this 50, which is close to that monthly trigger, those could all be bullish signals.
Yeah, I'm definitely keeping my eye on oil.
Yeah. And the good thing about oil is that it'll ramp up in the fall and winter. People doing traveling, and then heat for the winter. All of that comes into play. And then if that guy becomes president, he wants to drill, baby, drill. So I'm sure that'll come into play also. I think 12th man, you had something that you wanted to say.
Hey, so what's going on? So I was the one that put in the Wells Fargo question, and I didn't really look at XLF. But when it comes to Wells Fargo, could you look at a couple option prices? What do you? Uh,
Mm-hmm.
I was looking more like I was in it. I was in it. And I swung it from Thursday to Friday, so I was in the kind of that good up climb with a 57 call, but looking more long term. Where you're right, that 60 to 61 zone is pretty tight. But going long term out, maybe the 19th of July for a 62 call, or just looking at option prices.
Okay.
What's your thought on it? Or even XLF? I know all the financials kind of look pretty good actually.
Yeah. So let's take a look at the. Take a look at a couple of things. So what I want to know is what the ADR is, maybe on the week and on the month. Um, so with my indicator, I can look at that. Give me at least an estimate for what we're looking like, what we could potentially be moving within those time frames. So in the week, it could go $2, and on the month, it could go potentially $5. So those are the extremes that we're talking about. But then we look at the chart and we see that it's going to have some potential resistance around this area right here, 60 to 61. So potentially, maybe if we want to get some time on it, we can get maybe next month. That'll give us 19 days. And then we're looking at maybe wanting this to be in the money before this expires, so maybe something around 59.60. And then we're looking at the volume on those contracts. So the 60 has around almost 2.5 thousand, or let's say 2,500 people who bought that on Friday, and the last one went for 140. And then we also see that the 62 has about 1,500 people who bought that on Friday also, and that one is about 64 cents. So anything between 62 and 59 for July 19th, because this could potentially move $5 in a good week. So those prices could potentially be within the money if things were to go your favor or go our favor, like in a perfect storm type of situation. Those could be in the money within the week. But we actually are giving ourselves 19 days for that to manifest at those prices. So looking at the 62 or anything between the 62 and the 59. The 59 being 188, the 60 being 140, and the 62 being 64. but the closer to the money, the better. So maybe the 60 that has the most volume as well as open interest. So this is what I'm looking at. And so the 60 has, like I said, the most volume and open interest. And that one, the last one went for $1.40. And then the 62 would be a little bit of a reach. But that one also has a lot of volume that came in on Friday. And it's a little bit cheaper. So that's what I'll be looking at on Wells Fargo as far as contracts. Let me get the chat back. Excuse me. Will this be recorded? I think it's being recorded. Hopefully everything is going okay. I don't think you need to have AutoStatic Pro in order to see the strat score. You just have to have the strat score indicator, and it should pop up if there is an actionable signal. It doesn't, I don't think it does it just on every ticker. It does it on tickers that have actionable signal. So inside candle, hammer, and shooter, if I'm not mistaken. So I'm going to do some inventory. I think we have some more people. Somebody was talking about, let me just make a list here of things that we haven't talked about yet. I think somebody said something about shop. Excuse me. Somebody said something about UNH. Didi, give me some more rationale behind that. McJungle Nuts, Roku. Let me know what you specifically see on Roku, or time frame or something, some actionable signal that you see. Shay Shay says banks have earnings the week of July 12th, hence the early push on banks, but also the regional banks, look amazing. So I do believe banks will return to all-time highs. The 19th is good for short term, but August 16th is better for long term swings, in my opinion. I agree with that. So, like I said, I saw on the regional banks, KRE looks nice. So that's what I was saying. The interest rates, and then it has that fail to down on the month, just like Wells Fargo, KRE, which is the regional banks. So you definitely want to have some banks on your watch list. Look at that nice failed candle there with all that buying coming in. It's almost finished even green on KRE. And so that has a setup on the month, and then over here on the the quarter, we have a kind of a failed to down also on the quarter. And then on the 6 month, we have that inside candle. So we have kind of triggers on the month, the 3 month, and the 6 month on regional banks. So you want to have one of those regional banks, if not KRE, on your watch list. And so let me see. Okay, 62 and a half. With a little bit more time is $1. That's what's up. Mm-hmm. Okay.
Oh damn, why going to talk about those shit?
We can hear you.
Good. What happened, Jamal?
What's up?
So I was doing some charting as far as UPS for a day trade tomorrow, and I was just trying to get your assistance, advice, insight. You know.
Okay. So UPS, it's kind of in the range. Did they have some? Okay, FedEx had a great week last week, and FedEx has been having a great month. UPS could potentially be bouncing off of this order block here on the day. And we do have that inside candle. Inside candles are great because price usually has to be directional. It's a high probability that the price is going to be directional based off of the inside candle. This order block. And we also have this failed 2 down on the month, but more immediately looking at, let me see, the week. All right, so there you can see that range kind of more clearly on the week. But I would just play this inside candle. If you're just trying to do a day trade on it, this inside candle is great for that. Hopefully it can break one of those sides strongly. Hopefully, because it's in that order block of support, it could potentially break to the upside. But the inside candle here is what I would want to play. And then maybe if we look down to the 4 hour and see something. So let's change this to the day and change this to the 4. So the 4 hour, you also have another inside candle.
That's what I was charting on.
And so we're looking forward to break the 4 hour and then break the day. You could get an early entry based off of the 4 hour. If you like. But that's the good thing about these inside candles is because price has to, most likely, it has a high probability of being directional. Now the other thing is that it could stay inside, but I highly doubt that it's going to at least break one of these triggers.
I saw they had some recent news of selling Coyote Logistics to RXO. And when I charted RXO, it was in an uptrend. So I'm hoping it influences in some kind of way to keep going bullish and to fill those fair value gaps back up to.
And if UPS is anything like FedEx, hopefully they beat on earnings, and this could be the start of a potential earnings run up for them. Because it looks like they do have it's not too soon, but they do have earnings coming up. I think
in July.
Yeah, they have earnings on the 24th, and then it's potentially as support. So you just want to keep eyes on and make sure that it keeps breaking those inside candles first and foremost. See which direction it does play off of that, but it is in a range. But you want to be mindful of that it does have this kind of range here. Like this range. So prices have been traded in this box. So you want to be mindful of those levels also. because they could act as support and resistance. The top of this purple box and the bottom of the purple box could potentially act as support and resistance. So you want to see how price acts at these levels, the top of the box and the bottom of the box. Right now it's kind of right in the middle. So this could potentially be bullish, and you could play it up to the top of the box. Or if it's bearish, you can play it to the bottom of the box.
Okay. I'm gonna make sure to draw that on my chart too. Yeah, you're right. I see the consolidation. Okay.
Yeah, but if UPS is anything like FedEx went crazy for earnings, so maybe it's people that'll start buying it up in expectation for them to beat like FedEx did.
Yeah. Okay, good. Let me go back and chart all that. I appreciate you, Mom.
No problem. So going forward for this next month, we'll try to have a charting session. I think at least every week. So this would be the charting session for the week coming up. It would most likely they'll be on Mondays, but today was different because we do have the newness, all of the newness candles coming up tomorrow. So we wanted to get ahead of that. Alright, I'm still waiting on people to give a slight rationale for what they see. For example, Jay Brown says snow, hammer on the month, and 1-3 on the weekly looks good for the upside. So just give a little bit of information about your ticker. Don't just throw out stuff. I want to see that you all have took a little bit of time to actually look at the things, and you're not just giving me tickers that you hear from Twitter or something like that. Snow, and then we just went over UPS. And then somebody said something about shop, and I think they came back and said something shop. Let's go over shop on the daily. How do you get the ATRs? That's my indicator. I need to put it out. But I don't know if there's another indicator that does that, where it gives you different time frames. That I could give you for free right now. It's not coming to. That's why I made that up, but I can't think of anything. Hold on. This one is mine too. Oh, okay, so this one will do it. I can give you this one. Can we look at Amazon? So yeah, if you put in the ticker, please just give me, it don't even have to be too long. Just give me something as far as what you see on it. For example, Keon says shop double inside week, break of inside month could be interesting. So in saying that, we could look at shop. Let's remove these drawings. And so we're looking at shop on the day, and then we're looking at it on the week over here for 1 second. And so we can see this double inside week over there. Matter of fact, let's bring the week over here and go back to the month. So we can see this double inside week on shop. So it's been inside, this candle was inside of this candle, and now this green candle is inside of the red candle. So we're looking for it to potentially become directional. So it will have to potentially break one of those levels there on the upside or to the downside on shop. And so this is the kind of things that I like, where we could just wait for it to break those weekly triggers to the downside or to the upside. On shop. And then it also looks like on the month we have an inside too. So in the month we also have an inside candle. And so we have those triggers there for the month. And then we do see that we were in an uptrend. We hit a swing high, and now it's starting to fall. We have it underneath these EMAs here, the 50, and I think that's the 100. So we want to be mindful that it is slightly above the 100. Could potentially find a support, but it could also potentially fall, breaking this trigger here. This could be a potential target level down, and then this also down here could be a potential target level to the downside. And then to the top, we have a potential target right there. And so this is on the month, so these would be monthly potential targets, looking to take it for a month or two out with those target levels in mind. But shop looks interesting. I like those inside candle breaks. Just one last thing about shop. On the daily, we could potentially have a 2 up, 2 down reversal. This is a failed 2 up. It could potentially reverse. We're looking for that trigger on the day to confirm a reversal, and then we could play this to the week potentially. Just a couple of more things. It does have a gap that it tried to fill, but it's currently still trying. This gap here. This earnings. So we want to be mindful of that also. Alright, so we do shop and then snow and then let's see, into it. Amazon. Chewy. All right. So someone said snow. Let it snow, snow on the week. We got snow on the month here. All right. So snow with that fell to down on the month. On the week we have a 3 back to the upside. So we're looking for this 3 hopefully to continue into a 2 up, 3-2 up, above, slightly above what price is now, 135.75, give or take, there on the week. And then we have this fail to down on the month, potentially take that back to the upside also, triggering on the month above 139, let's say 139.06. And so here on the week we do have this kind of sharp spring up from this level right here. I'm just gonna go ahead and kind of call that demand. And so we do see that it could potentially be bouncing off of this level zone, demand zone. So we're going to keep that in mind, keep that level in mind. It has found support several times at this level before. It could potentially do it again. First sign of resistance on the weekly would be in the form of this order block right there on the weekly. Around right there. That purple zone is. But Snowflake does okay. Snowflake does look good, and so does cybersecurity in general. So Snowflake is cybersecurity. And like I said, I start at the sectors, and so Bug was actually looking good. Interesting. That is the ETF for cybersecurity. And so Snowflake, Datadog, I was looking at. for my play on cybersecurity. So this could potentially be going back to the upside, hopefully, if cybersecurity does start heating up. I'm trying to figure out where. So as we can see with Bug, we have this weekly order block that it is finding support from. We have potential targets on the triggers on the 3 month, where we have this fail to down, and then we also have this 6 month. It could potentially break this kind of fat doji here on the 6 month, to the up or to the downside. But we do want to keep in mind that we have this support here on the weekly, where it could potentially act as a level, a floor for it to bounce. So I do want to keep cybersecurity things in mind. Snowflake is a good one, as well as Datadog, PanW, and Crowd. Again, I will break. Does anyone want to come to the mic with their trade idea? You can be my guest. All you have to do is raise your hand. I'll call you up onto the stage. Excuse me. One second. Okay, I think it is recording. Yes, I believe it is being recorded. What's weird is that it looks like I was looking at Intuit already. I don't know what in the world. On the month, you can see this kind of cup with handle that I've already drawn here. And so we're looking for it to break above that handle high around here, above 676.62. These contracts are most likely very expensive. Intuit. We have these bullish. This is a hammer looking candle, or dragonfly doji on the 3 month to the upside. Has the same trigger as the month, and the same thing with the 6 month. We have that hammer candle which has the same trigger as the month, and that monthly trigger is also the trigger of the cup with handle. But we also want to be mindful that we're in a order block that could potentially act as resistance. As we look over here, these red lines are potential resistance right there on the month. So we want to be mindful of all of those things. And then you also want to be mindful that Intuit is pretty expensive. So on the month, we do have that 3-1. So you could get a more aggressive entry just off of this one candle here on the monthly triggers. And then you also have that cup with handle trigger at the trigger that I just was speaking about. So on the month you have these 657.21 will be the 3-1 2 to the upside, and then you have the cup with handle trigger here at 67.62 into it. So the full rundown, G Slide says on Intuit has a possible 3-1-2 up on the monthly, 2-2 up, bullish continuation on the weekly over here, and then the quarter and the 6 month also hit bullish continuations, and it just filled the gap on the daily and slightly pulled back on Friday. Can possibly see 675, 715 during this month or quarter if it holds up. So yeah, those are all within range, those targets, but you just want to be mindful of this potential resistance here from 715 going down to where we are now. Amazizo is in a supply zone. It's breaking above it, and I think it's at an all-time high, reaching new all-time highs. So it might just be like F your resistance. But what was the rundown on Amazon? Let me look back through the chat. If someone said something about Amazon. Target. Alright, let me put that down because I skipped over that one. Wells Fargo, XLE, shop. Can we look at Amazon? Okay, you never said what was going on with Amazon. Shop. Chewy is next. Okay, so I don't use the 6 hour. So 6 hour would kind of be like the day. What we can do is create a 6 hour if I don't already have one. So my 6 hour doesn't have that inside candle. But what we can look at on Amazon is that it is breaking up through resistance, but it is potentially creating a swing high there on the day. Like I said, I think Amazon is at all-time highs if I'm not mistaken. All-time high 627 3 days ago. Yeah, so Amazon did hit all-time highs, as you can see from this red line right there. Take this back off. There we go. So what we're looking for on Amazon, because it went 2 down, It could potentially go 2-2, 2 down, 2 up. Looking at the day. Oh, Winston, you off of mute. Let's see. Table. And oh, he probably is not paying attention. Let me see. So we have those levels for it to potentially do that. Go 2 down, 2 up. And again, it is breaking above resistance, but it is curling back down. So we want this to continue strong and potentially break to all-time highs again. But we are aware that it is in a point where it has rejected before. Right here. Broke above that. And then it's coming back down to those levels. So it's rejected from this red zone before. Today, I mean, most recently it's broken back above it, but it's still kind of in that same zone where it's creating this down candle. So we want to be mindful of that. We want to see it go back 2 up on the day on Amazon. So the week doesn't really have an actionable signal. It would just be a 2 up continuation. Same thing on the month, it would just be a 2 up continuation. Same thing on the 3 month, it would be a 2 up continuation. And same thing on the 6 month, it would just be a 2 up continuation. So really, on the daily is really what we're looking for to actually break back to the downside and go to hold on, let me pull the day up. We're looking forward to break back up on the daily, and go 2 down, 2 up. As you can see, it says no actionable signal, and then if that one was on, it was also say no actionable signal. Boom, boom, boom. I don't even have it on there, but this one is the only one that has the actionable signal, the 2 down, 2 up on the day on Amazon. Mark says that Amazon is creating competition with Temu. Really lowering prices by allowing customers to order directly from producers in China/Asia. The prices could be lower, but the delivery time's longer than regular Amazon. That's interesting. Everybody loves Temu. What about Shein? Does anybody order clothes from there? Shein? Is that how you pronounce it? Their clothes are like really cheap. I'm sure it's something awful with it because you can't just sell clothes for that cheap. They be having like suits for like $30. Like what? Oh, you said one wear clothes so them joints fall apart. That's not good. That shit fall apart like the Hulk. When you step out in this shit. That's not good. That's interesting. What you working logistics? What's going on? Mark know all the logistics and shit. So Amazon we went through. Fitted caps, $5. That's crazy. Okay. Let's see. And somebody says something else about something. Amazon. Oh, Neo. Okay. All right, so I'm gonna go through these, and then I'm gonna ask for somebody to come to the mic. If somebody doesn't come to the mic, we ending it. So we got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then somebody has to step up and take their turn. Give me 1 second. I'm gonna go get some water. All right. So, we were at Target. So I forgot Target all the way up at the top. Somebody said something about our guy. Target cost looks like it could run and test the bearish favor you got on the 4 hour at 157. Double bottom as well. Oh hell, let's look at Target. I'm about to fail. So we're looking for Target for day trade. Target on the week, no actionable signal. So Target on the day, we do have the hammer-ish up. So we got this potential double bottom is what it was saying right here. We got that double bottom right here. So let's just draw that. So we got this zone right here where it's bounced and found support. So we can call this double bottom support. Whoa, 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 whoa. So this support is double bottom support on the daily. Whoa, okay. I still had the thing. On the daily, and so we could potentially be bouncing from there, which we already are, but we don't necessarily have an actual signal on the day, which sucks. Target on the month, we kind of do have a hammer there on the month, so we can just put those triggers there, so we can have our monthly triggers taking it above 152 for right now. On the month, that could trigger that failed to down hammer candle on the month above there, 154, and then below could be a continuation to the downside on the month below 139.38, and then on the day we could go two up above 148.71. On day, this is not necessarily a strat trigger. It would just be breaking the high of the previous day candle, as well as breaking the low of the previous day candle below 146.12. With that double bottom there, potentially looking at that. And then here on the 4 hour, we do have, it looks like, nope, we have a fail to down on the 4 hour. Which is just dangerously close to already being triggered, because it's not necessarily too much that it has to go to trigger this 4 hour to the upside. So once again, we don't necessarily have an actionable signal on the 4 hour either on target. But what we can also conclude is that target looks like it has a trend line that we can draw on the strongest time frame that I see this on. Looking here on the day, we have like this line right there, and then we can kind of create that into actuality, something kind of like this. So I want to see target break and hold above that downtrend line. That could be signs of bullish as well. So breaking above the excuse me, whoa. Breaking above the day trigger right there, as well as holding above this downtrend downtrend line, could be bullish on target, but then breaking below the daily trigger could also be bearish on target, as well as this weekly trigger right here. At 144.92, so that's the weekly trigger, 144.92, and then the daily trigger is 146.12 to the downside on target. Alright, so I'm going to take a break from talking. Someone said they did want to come to the stage. Let me see if I don't see the request anymore, so I guess they chickened out. Oh no, it was you already up here. Live in the shadows said it. For some reason I didn't think Temu was legit. I've never ordered from there, but I have a courier service. A lot of people order from there. Like a lot. Trading T, I have given you access to the stage. Welcome.
Hey, Ma.
What's going on?
So I've been trying to see if you can look at GS.
Mm-hmm.
I'm trying to go back to my message about their setup. So it has a monthly trigger or a monthly setup that could trigger, and then also on the day it has a shooter and a kicking bull, I believe. But there's also a potential push trigger on the day as well.
Okay. Yeah, so GS is another financial that we do want to watch. With the regional bank having a nice little setup and Wells Fargo also having a nice little setup. I think I looked at XOF also, but Goldman Sachs has this inside hammer on the month as you stated, and then on the day it does have this kind of kicking bull that turned into a shooter, so it's kind of playing with our emotions right now. So what I want to do is zoom out a little bit, and what we can see is that here, let's just look at the day first. Look at the day first. And so the day kind of has this flag pattern. So this is the bull flag. And so what we're looking for is it to break above the resistance, so the trend line resistance. So just like I did with target, we have like this trend line right here, which will be the top of our flag, and then we have another kind of bottom of the flag. So it'll kind of look better if I did it like this, so you can kind of see the flag. So the flag pole is like right there. Whoa. All right, let me do this again. Let me take this off. So we got the flag top, and then something like that, and then the bottom of the flag would be something like this. Come on. Come on. Let me see if I could. That's the right one. It's just defaulted to something stupid. And so we got something like this. And so we're looking forward to break up above this flag. It's currently rejecting from the upper flag, but we're looking forward to potentially range, but we're looking for a break to the upside according to this bullish flag pattern. So we just want to keep this range right here in mind and watch for breaks below or above that. High probability that it will break above. So we're looking for a break above that shooter. To confirm this bullish bull flag. And this is the day. So we're potentially looking for a break above that bull flag above 457.34 on the day on Goldman Sachs. And then we could also play that with the break of the inside candle on the month. Above 464.52, so we could take that day trigger and target the monthly trigger. So this could be a level where you're either adding in or taking profit. Boom, 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 boom. And then on the worst case scenario, we could take this down using the monthly trigger as well as that trigger back on the day that I'll set after I finish this one. of that shooter on the day. What's going on? So this is the month to the downside, and then this shooter. If this shooter is confirmed, then we need a break below the low of the shooter, and that will give us 449 something. 449.53 is what we're looking like. So if this is bullish, we're looking for a break above that bull flag, triggering the day and targeting the month. And then if we're looking for this to continue to the downside, we're looking for it to confirm this shooter, triggering the day and targeting the month. And then what I didn't look at was the week. And so the week will also give us some levels that we can play as targets or triggers. We could trigger the day, and then you can target the week at 442.80. Depending on how long you are planning to stay into this. So those will give you different triggers. The trigger to the upside of the week is the same trigger as the month.
Yeah, on AutoStratic, I don't even know if I see a weekly trigger. What's like 3:30 now?
Well, yeah, because it's no actionable signal, so this is just a 3. So what we're looking for in the best case scenario, since this is sort of a 3 up, it's a 3 green, so we're looking for potentially the bias to kind of come in, but this finished more like in the middle of the range of the candle, so it's kind of like a doji. It's just like a fat doji was what I like to call it. So it's kind of indecisive. So really your
And just
only AutoStratic actionable signal you have is on the day with this shooter.
yeah. And I'm just curious, so how are you so quickly able to identify that as a bull flag? Like
Well, it's just
what
the
stood
pattern.
out that showed that?
So this is the pole. I just drew it. So this is the pole right here, where you have this uptrend. That's the pole, and then the flag is where it starts to kind of range, forming the top of the flag right here and the bottom of the flag.
Okay, gotcha.
You sure?
I think so. Yeah, you just identified it so quickly that I'm just like, how could I have possibly looked at that and saw the same thing?
Oh yeah, I mean I've been trading. So the more and more you practice trying to see it, the more and more you'll see it. So it's just because you see this extreme because it just looks like a pole. It looks like a pole just going up, and then right here, this range creates the range of the flag. Let me see if I can make it a little easier, but you might not be able to see what I drew. Let me see. You see the flag now?
Oh, yeah. I didn't even realize you were including the flagpole as well. Okay.
Yeah.
Gotcha. And yeah, I know GS it had reached an all-time high as well. I feel like that's why it's kind of even more iffy because it could go back up to that or it could like just keep on falling.
So sometimes all-time highs can act as resistance, and sometimes they could just blow past them. But the only thing we can do is just be mindful that of those two scenarios, and then just play what price action gives us.
Right. Okay. Thank you.
No problem. right. 1 second. Let me make my drink. Put some water. Got my, what is this? Organic superfood. Mix that in there. Pour some more water. All right. Mix this up. All right. I just wasted water all over myself. Did y'all already do AMD? Nope. I don't know what the deal on AMD was. And so we're going to go into Chewy. Somebody mentioned Chewy. Oh my. Chewy had that excellent day and then it sold off on the same day. I think Roaring Kitty put out like a picture of a dog and everybody jumped into Chewy. Because the guy who owns a majority of GameStop used to own Chewy. So Chewy on the daily bounce off of the lower parallel channel, respecting the upper trend. I don't necessarily see a channel. What I do see is that it looks like it's respecting this order block here on the day. Bouncing off of that, we're also respecting this fair value gap, using that as support. I'm not sure what other news Chewy has besides the meme stuff. So this is what I see on the daily, is this support zone kind of right here in the form of this order block and that fair value gap. We have support right there on the daily. We have this fail to down on the daily. So we're looking for that hammer to continue potentially to the upside above 28.16 and then below 25.50. We'll be testing the support zones on Chewy. That's on the day. We also have that order block back over here. Looks like something on the week where Chewy has rejected from. On the week right here, so I'm gonna be mindful of that. If it could even get back up to those meme levels up there. But the first breakout will be on that day. And the 4 hour, let's see if we have something. So on the 4 hour, we have an inside candle. We have a fair value gap that could potentially act as resistance also right here. So we want to be mindful of this fair value gap. And then we want to be mindful of the inside candle, which would break right at that fair value gap. Oh my goodness. Yeah, so that's what I see on Chewy. We do have some resistance levels that we need to pay attention to when it's breaking the 4 hour in the day on Chewy. We'll definitely need some sort of news to get back up to these meme levels, because like I said, it made that run off of meme magic. So it's either going to need some sort of magic to reach those levels again, because you can see it died out just as fast as it ran. Meme magic. Neo. Poor little Neo. So the word on Neo was what? I know I saw Neo shooter on the week. Okay. So as you can see on the day, Neo is in a solid downtrend. China, I think in general, is in a downtrend. And so we have this downtrend on Neo. We have this order block where it's rejecting from. We have this fair value gap right here where it's also rejecting from, and we have a shooter. So best case scenario, the shooter is confirmed with a break below 414, which is only 2 cents. And we do have to be mindful that there is also an order block that could potentially act as support right here to the left. So this order block right here could potentially act as support. So we want to be mindful of that. That this blue zone could potentially act as support. It would be so good if there was no support there and this shooter would just be confirmed and it just keeps continuing to the downside. Which it can. So if you're looking at this, you want to probably put some time on this play and get as far as you can. I know it's not super life-changing money, but the risk will be lighter, and you won't get clapped by theta if Neo decides to have a good day and actually go up, because it is overwhelmingly in a downtrend and it's probably headed more to zero than to hero, unfortunately. One second. So that's my quick take on Neo. Then we had Riot. Somebody said Riot had a interesting score on the thing. Hold on. Is my homie in here? Are you coming to embarrass me? Um, right. Okay. Right. $9 puts 82 on the thing. There's a fly in here I'm trying to kill. I hate flies. It's very, the buzzing noise is very distracting. And I just sprayed that shit everywhere and it's not. God damn it. 1 second, I'm sorry. Yep, I missed it. Okay, I'm gonna try to work through it. So we had Riot. On the week, we do have that shooterish on Riot. Looking to the left though, this is a level that it has bounced before. So you want to keep that in mind. This zone here where it's bounced up, and then now we're kind of ranging. It's looking like it wants to tackle to the downside. So like this zone, we could say kind of is acting as support. On Riot. And then we do have that shooter on the week, a shooterish candle. And so we can use those as triggers to the downside below 896 on the week. And then to the upside, we have above 960. So those could be weekly triggers, taking that at least 2 weeks out. At this level here, where it has bounced before, we just want to keep that in mind. And then Riot also has this fail to down. Looking for that to potentially go 2 up, 2 down, 2 up reversal on the daily above 920. And then we could target the week from there at 960. Riot doesn't really move that much with the ADR of only 60 cents a day. So you want to be mindful of that and put some time on these cheaper plays. Please. Riot also moves with Bitcoiny. So if Bitcoiny does good, then Riot will also do good, and so will Mara and CleanSpark and Master. What else on Mara? Yeah, I don't really see taking it too long, like for a month or 3 months, but I like the week and the day on Mara. I'm sorry, Riot. What's up? Oh, you left the stage? I let you on stage. Let's see. Somebody said affirm. What else? What else? It's time for someone else to say something. What do y'all like on the firm? You keep this is the second time somebody mentioned the firm. What do y'all see on the firm? Angel, I'll let you on stage. I think you chicken out. Okay, somebody said the score is a 107.
That's what's up.
What does the chart say though? Excuse me. Okay. So affirm. Affirm kinda that kinda looks like a flag pattern, but this is a deep flag. So this would be the pole, but then it kind of moves down 50% of that pole. This might want to continue to the downside. We have shooters on the week, and then we have a 2 down on the day. So I'm guessing that the score is talking about the week. So if the probability is right on this, then we're looking for this to continue to the downside. And so we're looking for this shooter to be confirmed underneath the low of the week. 2960 will be confirming that shooter. $29.60 will be the weekly trigger on that shooter to the downside. With this downtrend that we've been having for a couple of weeks now on Affirm, what is this, buy now pay later stuff has been pretty much getting clapped. Affirm, so we just want to keep that in mind. The daily doesn't really have an actual signal, and it's just basically, if we did take a trigger off the daily, it would be the same as the week. So Affirm, where the sentiment is to the downside, and we're looking forward to break that weekly trigger of 29.60. If it doesn't do that, then it's no play. Does anybody else have anything that they're looking at or want to come to the stage? think I've covered everything that people put in the chat that had at least a little bit of DD. What about energy transfer? What do you see that makes me that makes you want to look at it? I think you better call Tyrone Jackson. Oh yeah. AstraZeneca. Oh. Okay. Energy Transfer has been getting nothing but positive news. I didn't hear anything about the positive news, but let's look at it. Man, this fly is really pissing me off. So Energy Transfer looks like it wants to shoot for this high right here. There's no actionable signal on the week, no actionable signal on the day. We have this support that is bouncing off of, using as a floor. And so what we're looking for is it to take out that swing high to the left, and hopefully displace strongly above that. So this is our target. This is our trick level for it to go above this. So that's the trick level. It breaking above 1640, breaking that swing high. This could potentially act as resistance, excuse me. But we want to see it display strongly above that. So we want to see a solid, real strong candle above the swing high right here, above that trick level. On Energy Transfer, if the news is bullish heading into earnings, it could be a run up potentially. This is also oil services. I think they are involved in servicing of oil and the oil industry, if I'm not mistaken. But again, it doesn't have any, strat signal or anything like that. So I'm just looking at the levels, looking for it to break above that swing high of 1640. What else? AstraZeneca. AstraZeneca is a 3 down. So the sellers came in on this and drove this down. So we're looking for a 2 down continuation based off of the week. 3 down on the week. If the sellers are still strong, then they'll want to send this 3-2 downs. We could also potentially have a 2 down, 2 up reversal on the day. So the daily trigger back to the upside could potentially be above 78.75. Bullish fair value gap that is currently inside of. Keep mindful of that on the daily. This zone right here could potentially act as support. But on the week, we do have that 3 down. Looking forward to break below the week or go 2-2 up on the day daily on AstraZeneca. The month, we have that shooter with the target also being the weekly down trigger, which will confirm that shooter on the month. So the day, the week, and the month look interesting on AstraZeneca. Anything else? Alright, so the last thing that I would do is I'm going to go to my notes and I'm going to add some stuff that I saw in the paper that I read of just general good things, the good stocks to look at for the rest of the year, just based off of general knowledge and kind of DD. I think somebody mentioned Nvidia. So Nvidia is hands down something to watch. Just keep on your watch list if you can. As it dips, buy shares. Nvidia could potentially go down. If we look at Nvidia and see what it's doing, that'll give you a better look at what QQQ is doing. I don't necessarily play SPY, but I'll look at that before we depart also. So Nvidia on the week, we have this swing high that is created. And then on the week, we have this fair value gap. We have an order block on the day where it could potentially act as support around the level of 112 to 106. That could potentially act as support. If it breaks through there, we have a small little gap right here at 106, and then we have another gap that it could potentially magnet towards down here at 101 to 96. So all of those could be good buying levels for Nvidia. I'm already in this, but I want to have at least 100 shares of this come this time next year at any price. Because Nvidia, I believe, is going to be a strong company as long as AI keeps booming, or just is the fad as of right now. As long as people are trying to go towards AI, they're going to need Nvidia's GPUs to do that, and their processors or whatnot to do those types of things. And saying that, So Nvidia is a prime player in the AI field. And then if you also like Nvidia, I would also keep eyes on the company that Nvidia once wanted to buy, ARM. So I would also keep eyes on this if you can potentially get shares as this dips. It's good to play options, but shares they're more of a secure thing. It's not as stressful, it's not as profitable on a daily basis, but it's a investment. It's a more longer term investment. It's actually something that you can pass down to your kids. There's no expiration on shares unless the company just goes bankrupt or something. But that's the whole thing, is the market is designed for you to invest in these good companies, and you make money with them as they continue to make money and go up in price. So having that sort of mindset, you want to buy low and sell high, and then you want to also buy into companies that you know are going to be good 5 years from now, 10 years from now. So what companies are those? Nvidia, in the course of the last 2 to 3 years has at least doubled in price, and now they just split it again. So where do you think Nvidia is headed back towards? As long as they keep doing what they're doing, if not do more and do no less, they're going to be headed back towards the number that they just split from, 1,000. So you have a chance of getting a company that was just worth $1,000 a share a couple of weeks ago for $100, $90. So these are some of the things to keep in mind, is playing the long game. Everybody can be Jeremy Lin, but you want to be Kobe Bryant or LeBron James and have longevity, and not just a quick flash in the pan. You want to be able to pass, some money down to your kids, and your kids pass that money down to their kids, or those shares down to your kids. That's how you maintain the wealth. So in saying that, other companies that could potentially be good, Palantir, as we mentioned before, Datadog, cybersecurity. We also said to watch Snow. Datadog is another one. I believe that's one of the cheaper ones, Datadog. So yeah, Datadog is $129, and it probably potentially has the same setups as all of the other cybersecurities. Look at this big gap up on the week. Be mindful of that. This could try to fill this gap back to the downside. But we do have earnings coming up on cybersecurity. Just want to be mindful of that. It could potentially run up with earnings, hopefully. But keep those in watch, because as I mentioned before, AI is all data, and that data has to be guarded. And these cybersecurity companies is what's guarding the data in the data centers. Speaking of data and whatnot, another play on that could be Oracle. Oracle is a sleeper, but Oracle, if you like to TikTok, TikTok is, I guess, a Chinese-owned company, but in order to settle the minds of Trump and politicians, they run all of their data through Oracle, which is an American company. So Oracle is basically guarding the data of American citizens via the TikTok app. And that's kind of what they do. They have their AI data centers, data related stuff as well. Oracle is a good one to watch for the rest of the year. Another play on AI would be Palantir. I like Palantir. I have shares of Palantir. It's really cheap. I wanted to get Palantir May last year. I wanted to buy a bunch of shares on it and then sell those options on the shares. And that was back, Palantir was $7 May of last year. Just about a year from what it was now. It was $7. Unfortunately, I had an accident and was in the hospital, and I couldn't trade. But this is what you want. You want those cheap companies that quadruple in price. As you can see right here, this is May. It was $7, and now it's 24. But they're still getting contracts from the government. They're the government's form of AI, and defense measures and stuff like that. Palantir is also owned by, I think, a black man. He's the founder. I think he's his mom is black and his dad is I think Jewish. But that's also why I'm trying to invest in Palantir. They're a good company. That's something to watch for. And then last but not least, Apple on the not last but not least, but Apple on the 3 month and the quarter look 3 month and the 6 month look interesting. So here on 3 month, Apple is a 3 to the upside, 3 up. So we're looking for this to continue to the upside above 220.20. And then on the month, we have this 3 candle also on the 6 month with that same trigger, 220.20 to the upside on Apple if it does want to continue and keep pushing to the all-time highs. I don't know besides what Apple is doing, but it's been doing pretty nice with relatively, nothing new products or anything like that. Last but not least, we did mention the banks. So we mentioned Goldman Sachs, we mentioned Wells Fargo, and what I was looking at was KRE. The regional banks also look good. And then I was also looking at American Express and Bank of America. So the cheapest one would be Bank of America. American Express also having a nice setup too. But the cheaper one would be Bank of America. So they all on the month, they have this kind of fell to down hammer, which could also be a hanging man. So this was the double-edged sword. It could either go up or go down. Excuse me. This hammer, red hammer appearing at the top of an uptrend, could also be considered a hanging man, which is bearish. So if this is a bearish signal, then we're looking for confirmation at the low below 220.75 for that confirmation of that hanging man. And then if this is bullish and a continuation, then we're looking for it to hold above 241.36. So just be mindful of that on those banks. If you do see like a red hammer at the top of an uptrend, it could be considered as a bearish signal. So you just want to be mindful of the trigger to confirm that, as well as a trigger to deny that it is bearish. Verizon, I'm in Verizon. Verizon looked good because it was coming off of demand, I think, on the daily or the weekly. But Verizon looks good, as well as XLC stuff. So Verizon was bouncing off of this demand. I wish I would have got it right here, but look and see if it can clear above this resistance right here in that purple block box. But Verizon does look nice. Oh, that's nice, Mark. You got him for 873. That's what's up. Rivian could be a good play going throughout the rest of the year. They did get a battery put in its back by Volkswagen. They were close to be going bankrupt, and Volkswagen really boosted them up with that. I think they invested like $4.5 billion into them. So that's really a good look for Rivian. Really, really good. Because I think they were about to go bankrupt. So as soon as we finish this, I'll try to upload this to YouTube immediately, and so hopefully I'll have it available. It might take a couple of hours to upload or whatnot, so I'll try to have it available by the time by the time Game of Thrones goes off. House of Dragons, around like 10 or 11. Depending on the upload speed. But that's about it, guys and gals. What I'll do is I'll put out this watch list that we kind of created. Hopefully people will kind of charting along. I can't necessarily share all of the charts, but what I can do is, we have the video that we just recorded, so I'll have that up as soon as possible. But like I said, Verizon does look good. Bouncing from this demand here on the day, on the week, and the month. It has that kind of dragonfly doji kind of hammer candle there on the month. But I do like Verizon, and XLC stuff in general kind of does look interesting. All right, so I'll go ahead and upload this video as soon as we're done, and I'll make an announcement when it's finished uploading to YouTube. All right, last thing, I'll do SPY. I fucking hate SPY. So SPY is in the uptrend. The thing is, people play SPY 0 days on the daily, so you're not concerned about the long-term movement of SPY. You're just concerned about what it does for the next 10 minutes, next hour, next 4 hours, the next day. And so you don't see the forest through the trees, you just see the trees. So right now SPY has a shooter on the week, and it almost looks like an inside candle, but it's not. It went 2 up and failed on the week. On the day, SPY is a 3 to the downside, so we could potentially be looking for a 2 to the down, continuation to the downside on SPY, which is at what, all-time highs, correct? So all-time highs could potentially act as resistance, especially when it has trouble making new highs. Around here we have relatively equal highs that could potentially act as resistance, where that red line is. So this could potentially be resistance above that line, and then we have this swing low right here that we will want it to also break on the daily. 4 hour, no actionable signal. Swing low right there still. 1 hour, no actionable signal. We just have this downtrend. We have this order block down. We have that swing low. So we're looking for it to display strongly below this swing low. Most likely try to create a fair value gap from this low right here and create another high. That's a gap in between that price. So if price comes back and touches up to this level, it won't be a fair value gap created. But if price doesn't get all the way up here, we'll have a fair value gap, and what we will want is that fair value gap to engulf this line right here. So we want something like that, where the next candle high is at the bottom of this and it just breaks down, or something like that. That would be the perfect condition to take this to the downside. Most likely that won't happen. And then on the 15 minutes, you do have this inside candle at this order block. So in a perfect world, you would get a break of this inside candle, and then a test of the day, and then the test of the swing low. But you got to see what SPY wants to do. SPY is composed of Apple and a bunch of other stocks, so depending on how those open up is what SPY, the team of stocks, will do. But that's about it for me, you all. Like I said, I'm about to upload this right now. And if there's no other questions or concerns, if you do have anything, you could just add me in the chat. But I'm gonna go ahead and upload this, and you all have a nice rest of your Sunday. Peace out.